Hey, it's Luke with GeoFit. Today we're going to do a quick core workout. Now remember, the core is meant to resist movement, not necessarily to create movement. So a lot of the most optimal ways to train the core is actually not moving at all. You're resisting gravity or an outside force. So we're going to resist the three main movements that can happen to your core. So one would be the extension flexion, two would be lateral flexion side to side, and the third one would be rotation, which is probably the most forgotten about. Probably one of my favorite exercises that I want to see more people incorporating into their routine, whether it be for sports, preventing back injuries, whatever you may be looking for, just to look better. So we're going to start with one of my favorite core exercises. A lot of people, when they think of the core, they think of the abs. That's actually what we're going to be starting with. We're going to do a plank. I want to show the proper way to do a plank. There's a few ways. You can do them on your elbows. You can do them in push-up position. We'll start in push-up position. So what we're going to do is try to get a posterior pelvic tilt. What that means is if you have back pockets, bring them down to your heels or squeeze the glutes. Bring the front of your pelvis towards your belly button. That's the main cue I want to think about when you do a plank. Really rotate that pelvis, so you're really firing the glutes, firing the abs. We don't want gravity pulling us into this anterior tilt, letting our lumbar arch. So we're going to get in this position. Once we're down in plank position, thumbs under our armpits right here, tall line from our tailbone to our head, to our heels. We're going to be right here. We're going to really get that posterior tilt. What I want to think about, this is my other favorite cue when we do a plank. Bring your palms, or if you're on your elbows towards your toes, or your toes towards your palms. You're crunching the floor together. So I'm really trying to squeeze in. You can't necessarily see it, but I'm really trying to squeeze the floor together. We're going to hold right here. If you want to make this more challenging, we're going to walk out further. This right here is probably my #1 ab exercise to do right here. Get as long as possible. Posterior pelvic tilt. Again, I'm not arching. I'm squeezing here, and I'm pulling the floor together. My palms are driving through the floor. My toes are driving through the floor. Squeeze it as hard as I can. Don't let your head sink. Nice, we're gonna do that one. Work on holding that again, even just 10-15 seconds. Of course, you may be able to hold a plank for a minute if you're arching and doing bad form, but really try to get that good squeeze. The second one we're gonna do is gonna be the exact same concept. We're gonna do the side of the core, the obliques. So we're gonna be right here, elbow underneath the shoulder right here, straight line from your head down to the back of your heels. Two biggest mistakes I see here. Hip crease sinks back and the hips fall. Shoot your hips up, drive your hips in. Same thing, posterior tilt right here. If you want to make this one more difficult, add a weight right here on the side of your hip. You can put a kettlebell, you can put a towel for protection, put a kettlebell over it, or you can just have a partner push down on it right here, driving down, and you're pushing up into that weight right here. Steady breathing. Try it again, hold that, start off at least 10-15 seconds, get that good squeeze. Again, you're squeezing your elbow through the floor, squeezing your foot through the floor, trying to compress the floor together. Nice, we'll take a few deep breaths. Rest in between each part of the cycle. And we'll hit the other side. Elbow right underneath shoulder, head down to your heel, shoot the hips in, shoot the hips up, keep steady breathing. Remember, the neck's not falling, the neck's not forward. Keep that straight line, squeeze the glutes. Whenever you forget about what you're doing on the core, always squeeze the glutes. It protects the lower back and really isolates whether you're working the obliques, the abs. Keep the hips high. Again, remember, if you want to make this easier, you could drop to a knee to head line alignment. If you want to make this harder, right here, the most difficult level, again, add weight right here. Have someone push down. You can put a plate right here and drive up into that weight. Steady breathing. Nice. Last but not least, so we've hit the front, we've hit the sides. Last but not least, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some rotation or anti-rotational work. This is one of my favorite exercises. We're gonna get a nice athletic stance. Right here, heels under our shoulders, toes forward, soft knees, soft hips, squeeze the glutes. We're gonna put our hands straight out. You're gonna find either a wall, a doorway, a tree, some stable surface. You can do this right up against any wall you find. We're gonna do right here, we're gonna interlock our hands. Right out here, keep your hands in front of your chest. And all I'm gonna do right here is I'm going to squeeze into the wall, or to, in this case, the tree branch. I'm actually trying to break through the tree right here. I'm squeezing, and I'm really pushing this way. The harder you push, the more you're going to get that anti-rotational work right here. Steady breathing. Again, ways you can make this harder, instead of pushing through a fixed wall, you can have a human pushing against your hands right here, pushing this way. You're fighting that push. Steady breathing. Make sure we're not here. We don't have this bad posture. Tall spine. And relax. You should feel that light up the obliques. Then obviously turn around to the other side if you have to turn around the wall. If it's a full wall, for me it's just a branch, so I can just move my hands to the other side right here, and I'm just gonna twist into it harder and harder. Steady breathing. Trying to literally break into this branch. If this is a scale telling me how much force I'm pushing into it, try to make that scale read high as possible. 3, 2, 1. Nice, so that's a solid core workout. We just did a few exercises, none of which we were moving. We were just resisting movement the whole time. In this case, we were resisting gravity or a tree right here. They help prevent back injury, help you look better, help you perform better in any sport you do. The core is really the glue that holds your upper body and lower body together, so make it really firm, really stable. My analogy for injury prevention is it's like a suspension bridge. If your spine is the bridge, the muscles are the suspenders right there. So the stronger they are, the more stable that spine is going to be, preventing injury. I would run through that, hold at least, like I said, 10 to 15 seconds. I'm more worried about the form than the time in the beginning. Just measure good, 10 to 15 seconds, deep breaths. We're really getting that squeeze. Run through that whole cycle. You can do that 2 to 3 times, and then start holding longer and longer as you get better. So try that at home. Let me know how it goes, and strengthen your core. Prevent back injuries and increase your performance. Have a good one.